Dale, and this is my build. It's A83 exploration base. It's inspired by those classic space sets that we all know and love. Neoclassic space.
Just kind of updating it and making it way cooler here with this awesome layout.
Well, using the modern building techniques and all the great new pieces that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So let's start with maybe the big kind of base area here. What's kind of, you've got even an interior in there, and then kind of the ships on there. So how does that all come together?
When you look at those classic space sets, there's lots of different play options. So I wanted to make sure that in kind of paying homage to that my base had those kind of play options. So obviously we've got labs and rovers and different sized ships and all the things.
Yeah, you capture all the different kind of play features that you would have recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So take through the design maybe of like the biggest spaceship here that you have on the layout and some of the parts you used in there, how that came together.
So the biggest ship is actually inspired by someone else's ship. I'm trying to think. His name is Rodney Bistline, I think. So I've contacted him. He knows. I wanted to make sure that he was happy with me adapting his idea. So it's the only thing on there that's not my original. Well, it is my design, but it's inspired by his. Yeah.
But that's great that you can kind of work off of other builders' ideas and kind of make it your own and do more with it.
Yeah.
So then, if we come down to the kind of flatter part of the build here, what type of stuff are the characters and the minifigs doing here?
So I've got a range of different jobs happening. This is primarily one of the great things about Classic Space is that it's about exploration. There's no guns, there's no bad guys.
It's not the violence that you get in a lot of stuff.
No, so I wanted to make sure that in paying respect to that I also come from the same direction or the same feel. So we're exploring a new planet. Yeah,
and so you've got all the vehicles and kind of canisters and stuff, all the work going on there. Yeah. And one thing that catches your eye with this build is definitely all of the rock work that you've got going on. So how is that for you? Do you enjoy doing all of that? Because I'm sure all those slopes and everything maybe gets a little repetitive or tiring after a while.
Look, I really enjoyed doing the terrain. I'm looking forward to doing more terrain. I've got to find excuses to do more terrain. But I actually found it quite therapeutic. Reaching into I just mixed all the slopes and all the wedges together, and then just reaching in and using what you pick up. Kind of the same way you would build a dry stone wall. If you pick up a piece, you got to use it. No, so and you're trying to create organic forms. So it's the best way to create organic forms. Random.
Yeah. And then do these doors kind of open and close on the base there?
So some of them do. So. If they're accessible from this edge or this edge, they open, but some of the others are just built closed or built open. Yeah.
What do we have on the interior if we come around to this side?
I wanted to make sure that, in some sets, there's no way to access the different levels.
It's just kind of like up there.
I wanted to make sure that you can. So there's a elevator, so you can get to all three levels. The different doors, you can actually move between the different landing pads and all that kind of. Yeah.
So it all actually flows and kind of makes sense, and you aren't just jumping randomly from one place to another.
No. Yeah. And I'm a graphic designer, so one of the other things for me that appeals about Classic Space is the limited color palette and all the kind of vintage graphics. So I've created, based on those original sets, my own
custom decals.
Custom decals, and yeah.
that adds some nice detail to the build there, to have like the numbers on it and everything, and ties it back to the original sets.
Yep.
So does this break down into sections when you bring it to a show?
Well, it definitely does, and as you can tell, because it's not really displayed, I needed to put a board under it, so you can tell, obviously, ideally, we don't see these kind of breaks, but, you know, I ran out of time to organise a board for this show, but hopefully the next time I display it, it will be on a board and these gaps will kind of close up a bit. Yeah.
But I'm glad you were able to bring it to Brickvention here, and I think it's been very popular with the public. So many great details, so thank you.
No, thank you very much.